In the heart of a lush and vibrant forest, life thrived in every corner. Towering trees stretched their arms to the sky, their roots sinking deep into the earth. Sunlight danced through the leaves, scattering golden patches on the soft moss below. And hidden beneath this green paradise, in a tiny, underground home, lived a little ant with her family. She wasn't just any ant. She was admired for her wisdom, her hard work, and her ability to always stay one step ahead of everyone else. She was the first to gather food, the first to find safe paths, the first to help others in need. Life for her was simple and good. But slowly, something began to change inside her heart. The forest was full of beauty, full of wonders, and the little ant began to notice what she did not have. Every time she saw the peacock dancing, his feathers shimmering like jewels in the sunlight, she thought to herself, "Look at his beauty. Everyone admires him. Why does no one ever look at me?" Then came the butterfly, fluttering gracefully from flower to flower, her delicate wings glowing with color. The ant sighed. "If only I had wings like hers. Why am I only crawling on the ground?" Even the squirrel caught her attention, leaping from one branch to another in a single bound, as if the sky itself belonged to him. And slowly, envy began to poison her joy. The little ant, who once worked with pride, now dragged herself through the day, gloomy and distracted. She stayed behind, leaving others to do the work. When her friends asked, "Why are you so quiet these days?" she only forced a weak smile and said nothing. Then, one day, the forest changed. The sky darkened without warning. Winds howled through the trees. A storm unlike any they had ever seen tore through the land. Rain came pouring down in angry sheets. Rivers overflowed. Trees cracked and crashed to the ground. The forest that once sang with life now echoed with chaos. The butterfly's fragile wings became soaked and heavy. She could no longer fly, and clung helplessly to a leaf. The squirrel's great tree fell with a thunderous crash, leaving him shivering on the muddy ground. Even the proud peacock, with his feathers once so bright, now stood drenched and trembling, his beauty washed away by the storm. But deep underground, the ants were safe. Their tunnels, carefully built over days and weeks, stood strong against the storm. And as the little ant watched the destruction above, a thought pierced her heart. I spent so much time envying others, and now they are the ones in trouble. Can I help? Can I make a difference? At that moment, something inside her shifted. She called her colony together and said, "We must help them. We are small, but together we can do great things." And so they marched. Hundreds of tiny ants moving in perfect formation across the storm-soaked ground, each carrying strength far greater than their size. Some lifted the butterfly gently onto their backs, carrying her to a safe and dry place. Others gathered fresh leaves and made a soft bed for the trembling squirrel. And some worked tirelessly to clean the mud and water from the peacock's feathers, so he could lift his head again. When the storm passed and the sun returned, the forest seemed reborn. Warm golden light spilled through the trees, and life began to stir again. The butterfly, the squirrel, and the peacock came to the little ant, their hearts overflowing with gratitude. The peacock said softly, "I have never seen beauty greater than yours." The squirrel whispered, "Today I learned that true strength is not in what we show, but in what we give." And the butterfly smiled through tears and said, "You cannot fly, and you may not shine, but you saved us all. That makes you the greatest of us." For the first time in her life, the little ant felt proud of who she was. She realized she was far more precious than she had ever believed. From that day on, she never compared herself to others again. She understood that every creature has its own unique purpose. And when we discover our strengths and use them to help others, we become truly special. Jealousy blinds us to our own worth. We waste our days wishing for what others have, while forgetting the gifts hidden within us. But real greatness is not in beauty, wings, or strength. It is in kindness, in service, and in the courage to use what we already have for the good of others. Being small is never a weakness. A big heart makes the smallest one the greatest of all. If you enjoyed my story today, help me by subscribing and sharing with someone else you think would like it. Thank you for watching. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I'd love to know.